Hey everyone, welcome back to channel. If you are new here, I am doing a full chapter by chapter breakdown of the psychology of money by Morgan Housel, and this book has completely changed how I view money, decisions, and long-term thinkings. I want to share what I am learning with you chapter by chapter. So today we are on chapter 4, which is titled Confounding Compounding. This one is short in book, but very deep in impact. In fact, I think this is one of the biggest secrets to build wealth. But the problem is we often overlook it because it feels too simple or too boring. So let's talk about it. So the part one is why compounding is powerful but boring. So what is compounding? We all heard of it before. It's the idea that your money earns interest and that interest earns more interest and it just keep going like a snowball rolling down a hill. The longer it rolls, the bigger it gets. So that's the idea. Now the reason this chapter is called confounding compound is because our brains are built aren't built to understand the compounding easily. We are not able to think in a long term. We just want short term goals or we just want short term dopamine hits. But we need to learn how to think in the long term or how to think in the compounding way. So now the reason this chapter is called compounding because our brain aren't built to understand compounding easily. So we think in the straight lines. If I do this day, I will get the results tomorrow. So we need to think exponentially. So that's how we are wired. But compounding doesn't work that way. It's slow at first. Let me give you an example. Let's say you invest rupees 10,000 and it grows at 10% a year. That's 1,000 in the first year. Not very exciting. But after 20 or 30 years, the 10,000 could grow into lakhs without you earning a single rupee. Here's the tricky part. The real magic of compounding happens at the end, after many years. That's when the curve takes off. But most people give up too early because the first few years feels like nothing is happening. So you have to be very patient about this decision and you have to be very patient and you have to think in the long term. So yeah, compounding is powerful, but it also boring. So you need to make a good mindset about your compounding habits or your money habits. And because it's boring, most people don't stick around long enough to see the results. That's why uh, to become top 1%, you need to build that type of patience or that type of patience in your lifestyle. So now, second, we are going to talk about the Warren Buffett example. Now let's talk about Warren Buffett, one of the most important examples in this chapter. We all know that Buffett is one of the richest man in the world, a legendary investor, but he is what most people don't know. Buffett made most of his fortune after the age of 50. In fact, as Housel mentions in the book, if Buffett had stopped investing at the age of 60, like most people do, they retire, he wouldn't be worth anywhere near he is today. It's not that he's just good at picking stocks, it's that he's been doing it consistently for more than 80 plus years. And that's the real reason his wealth is so massive. So this has really hit me. And because we often so much on because we often focus on so much on how smart someone is or what they are doing differently. But the one thing we have to do is consistently. So the consistency is the key to the success. The consistency is the key to the success because we often focus a lot in any like this some strategy, some stock picking techniques, some fundamental analysis, some technical analysis. Yeah, he also did these, but he also failed. But he consistently maintained the other stocks. So yeah, but in Buffett case, it's more about how long he stayed in the game. His skills is patience and consistency. So these two skills is very hard. Like the human brain doesn't try to sustain these uh, skills. So to become consistent and to become patient is one of the hardest skills in the human history. So to like you need to very your mindset should be very strong and very like very too much strong so that you can become these type of qualities in your life. And you don't have to be genius. You just have to stay in the game long enough for compounding to work its magic. So the third thing, if compounding is so powerful, why don't people take advantage of it? Here the honest truth, because it doesn't give us instant results. And what the human behavior or the psychology of human brain is, it wants instant results. Just like I wanted to get remove or like become thin in 3 days or in 30 days, or I wanted to be become rich in 3 days. I wanted to become crorepati in 4 days. These type of instant results like will not work for you and will not work for anyone. There is no overnight success. Everyone has done their hard work consistently over a long period of time. Then you see their overnight success. But you also have to do your hard work and patiently and consistently over a long period of time. Then your compounding effect will work. But do not go for short-term goals and instant satisfaction. So we live in a world of fast rewards, fast food, fast internet, one day delivery. We went to see results in a week, not in 20 years. And that's why compounding is tough to stick with. To invest money in to invest money. And for the first 5 to 10 years, the results are okay, but nothing crazy. That's when people most either stop investing or start chasing risky options like futures and options. You know that 90% of the investors will get nothing in the futures and options. So there is just a luck in the futures and option. Do not go for it. I did not. According to me, this is just a time waste of time. If you are lucky enough, then you will get some like money. Um, and but what they don't realize is that they are quitting just before the growth curve take offs. Think about it like this: compounding is just like planting a tree, and the first year it's just a sapling. In the first 5 years, it's not that big, but give it 20 or 30 years. Now it's massive, giving you shade, giving you fruits, maybe even fruits. And but that takes time and patience. So think in terms of things like an exponentially. Learn to think exponentially. Your life will become so good, and you will be very happy. So the fourth, my personal reflections, and I will be very honest. Before reading this chapter, and used to think more short-term goals. So I look at investments and think, how much can I make this year? But now I realize that's not how wealth really builds. The people who really grow their money are the one who give it time. So you need to give enough time to grow it massively, or to make your own corpus long or more enough. So, and you know what else? This chapter also made me think beyond money. Compounding applies to a lot of things in life, like habits, skills, relationships. So, if you give a time to each and everything over a long period of time, consistently, repetitively, or you're doing mundane job, then you become master in that skill. You become master in the relationships. You become master in any habits. So let's say around you read for 10 minutes every day. That's not much, but over a year that covers 60 hours of learning. Similarly, going to the gym, one session won't be anything, but over a year, big change. Like you are uh, just calorie deficient by 100 calories per day. Over a year, you will lose 4 pounds of weight from yourself. So similarly, the compounding works very consistently and regularly. So you need to learn how compounding works and what are its effects in the long term. Do not go for the short term goals. It's never worthwhile. So yeah, compounding isn't just about investing. It's about the small consistent things that pay off massively over a long period of time. So you need to know how compounding works. Fifth, so what we can actually do with this knowledge? So we can do there are three simple there are three simple and powerful strategies or powerful things or powerful lessons that I learned from this chapter. First, start early, because at the last stage everything doubles downs. So even if it's just a small amount, the earlier you begin, the more time compounding has to work. So start now. Do not listen to this uh, video if you are not starting now. You have to start now, and you have to be consistent. You have to invest. You have to like go to gym every day. You have to read the 10 minutes of book every day. So start now, because starting now will become a greater thing, and it will give more time to the compounding, so that your end result will be much bigger and much successful. Be consistent. Keep investing or save regularly. Don't stop just because the results seem slow. Think of the long term. Be patient, and this is probably the hardest one. So there will be ups and downs, time when you feel like giving up, but if you stay the course, you are giving yourself the best chances at building real wealth. So you need to be very consistent, very patient, and start early. So there are three lessons you need to learn from this video. Start early, be patient, and be consistent. And I'm recommending all of the viewers to start early as soon as possible. Like, just start now. And remember, wealth isn't always visible. It's not about fancy cars or designing clothes. Real wealth is quiet, and it's investments you are made that are quietly growing in the background while you go about your sleep or while you go about your life. So yeah, that's what I learned from the chapter 4 of the psychology of money, confounding compounding. And to sum it up, most people underestimate the power of compounding because it feels slow at first, but when you give it time, stay consistent, and stay in the game for a longer time, the results can be absolutely massive, beyond what your mind can imagine. So the trick is to okay with the slow progress and finish faith in the long term. And after reading this chapter, I like seriously connect with the my school learning, which is school story learning. Slow and steady wins the race. So you need to be slow and steady, but do your work regularly and consistently with patience. So slow and steady always wins the race. This is one of the biggest like rule in the world. So thanks for watching. If you are enjoying this chapter by chapter series, do hit a like button and subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. Next one is chapter 5, is also banger. And if you are ever experienced the power of compounding, whether in money habits, anything else, drop a comment below. I love to hear your story. Until next time, keep learning, keep staying, keep consistent, and trust the process. Always love your journey. So, yeah, that's thank you. That's it.